He dragged me out of the place and I fought so hard because I was like, this is how you die.
Everyone has heard stories about kidnapping or has seen it in movies.
How many other people are in the truck?
But that never shows how bad it really is.
Why's your zipper, your buttons down on your crotch?
These are 7 moments when kidnapping becomes a reality.
Unbelievable video shows the rescue of a woman held captive, discovered with a collar around her neck, chained to the floor.
This woman is Jonna Wilson, and she was found with a chain around her neck locked with a master lock and bolted to the floor inside the second-floor bedroom of Moises May. The cops were very fortunate to get to her as quickly as they were able to because May had already told her that he was going to kill her. He told her, "I've got to take this equipment back to Lowe's. When I come back, I'm going to kill you." Luckily, Jonna was able to knock out a window and scream for help, and some neighbors called the police. The officers looked extensively for another way into the house, but every door, window, and exit was screwed shut. Evidently, Moises May was planning on her trying to escape.
Where you see a ladder at?
I got a ladder.
Is anybody else in there? He did what? Is he Hispanic? But there's no one else in here, right?
No, you can
There we go.
Once she's safely removed from the home, officials use hedge clippers to remove the chain from Wilson's neck.
Jonna Wilson was, thankfully, able to fully recover physically, though she will feel the effects of this for the rest of her life. The two of them had been arguing, and that's when Moises violently restrained her, smacked her, and cut off all of her hair with a machete. It took 2 days for May to be arrested, but he was eventually found and placed into custody of the LMDC. Miraculously, May actually intends to plead not guilty to his charges, which very likely means that he'll be put away for a long time. They found her chained up in the house. There isn't much more damning evidence than that. His trial has not taken place yet, but hopefully Jonna can get some justice for what was done to her. Unfortunately, that won't be the case for this next victim.
Oh my God, thank you. He dragged me out of the place and I fought so hard because I was like, this is how you die.
In January of 2017, Jane Priebe was bound, gagged, and abducted from her apartment by her ex-boyfriend, 31-year-old Jack Morgan, and Samuel Brown, a 19-year-old accomplice. The blurred footage unfortunately makes it difficult to see, but when police found her, she had chains around her neck and she was in handcuffs. She was also tied to a wheel well inside the white van where she was held captive. This footage of Morgan is quite creepy, and he told police that they were planning on bringing Jane to a cave to brainwash her, though he never clarified what he meant by that. When he was arrested, the police repeatedly ordered Morgan to give them the key to the chains binding Jane, and eventually, he told them that they were on his key ring in the ignition. This allowed them to free the victim and get her away to safety. After being unchained and helped out of the van, Priebe told officers that she had been dragged from her home almost 12 hours earlier and had been locked up for the entire time. Police found items of clothing while they were on their way to the victim's apartment, and inside, they found a stun device and a knife lying on the floor close to the front door. Jane's purse was still inside, and there were signs of a struggle. Jane also told the New Mexico State Police that duct tape was wrapped around her neck and across her face, and that Morgan had tried to hogtie her, but she had resisted hard enough that he'd given in. She reports that Morgan had choked her to unconsciousness no less than 6 times, and that it may have been more, but her memory was fuzzy. Morgan was charged with kidnapping and false imprisonment, while Brown was charged with conspiracy to commit a kidnapping and false imprisonment. In March of 2018, Morgan was officially sentenced to life in prison, Brown was sentenced to 63 months in prison, along with 5 years of supervised release following the prison sentence. Thankfully, Jack Morgan will never be able to torment this poor woman ever again. Unfortunately, the victim isn't always so lucky, as we'll see coming up. The driver of this car, identified as 20-year-old Cameron Hopkins, allegedly abducted his ex-girlfriend, 19-year-old Kalia Jones, from her workplace at a Wingstop restaurant shortly before this chase. Witnesses observed Hopkins forcibly compelling Jones to leave her job and enter his vehicle. Eyewitnesses recalled an altercation between Hopkins and Jones at the restaurant before the kidnapping. Their exchange escalated, with Hopkins visibly agitated. He forcibly escorted Jones towards the rear of the establishment while brandishing a weapon. Despite efforts by the store manager to intervene, they were unable to prevent the abduction. Outside the establishment, witnesses observed Hopkins and Jones entering a red Camaro-like vehicle parked nearby. Hopkins swiftly reversed the car and departed the parking lot. Nobody knew exactly where they were going.
1256, 1028. Robert Zebra Baker 9932, RZB 9932. It's on a red Camaro.
Comes back to a Jacqueline Pruitt out of Dougherty County, Alabama, negative 29. Female was wearing black tights and a black Wingstop shirt. It's going to be a Kayla Jones, 19 years of age, female. The middle subject should be 18 years subject.
I'm behind that Camaro going down Bank Road. Passing Gilbert, trying to get her head. Speeds climbing to 70, coming up on the corner road, no traffic.
This dashcam footage shows Hopkins leading the police on a chase at well over 100 miles per hour. This would eventually end in the pit stop maneuver shown in the previous clip, and at some point during that stop, Hopkins shot and killed Kalia Jones. This all took place in a high school parking lot, which means that the situation could have escalated very quickly if the police hadn't stepped in.
Where offender at some point turned and shot victim in the chest, torso, and point contact in the chin, killing the victim. Offender then fired on Fayetteville police officers and sheriff deputies. Offender telling officers that the victim shot herself after being arrested.
Kalia's parents witnessed the Zoom court appearance but have declined to talk about their daughter's death. The aunt appeared to acknowledge Hopkins kidnapped Jones at gunpoint 1 year ago from a Lovejoy Walmart and was out on bond when police say he kidnapped her again.
You heard that correctly. Hopkins had already previously kidnapped Kalia and was out on bond when he did so again this time.
He already have a restraining order against him up here. He needs to be picked up and arrested.
This time around, the judge did not grant Hopkins bond, and he was left in jail until the time of his hearing. The court case is still ongoing, but it's looking to be pretty open and shut. He murdered her in cold blood. It's unlikely he'll be able to worm his way out of that one. Hopefully, he'll be put away for a very long time. Unfortunately, not every kidnapping gets the sentence it deserves. We'll see something like that in this next case.
Why's your zipper, your buttons down in your crotch?
Well, I probably just forgot.
An unzipped fly is not usually a cause for concern. It happens to the best of us. But this man, Jeremy Guthrie, is unfortunately not someone that should be given the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, and then you have a bunch of kids in the car. How many kids? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who are these kids to you?
This is my friend.
That's your friend?
Guthrie is questioned about why he has 6 kids in the back of his truck, and the only answer he can come up with is that they're his friends, which it's not usually a good look for a middle-aged man to be friends with little kids. And Guthrie is exactly the type of awful human being that you should be worried about.
Hello.
How are you?
All right.
Just all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Should your driver's license?
Yeah.
The majority of Guthrie's reckless driving unfortunately wasn't captured, but he had been swerving through lanes on the highway and made a very dangerous turn that almost resulted in a crash. He has 6 kids in his car. He should be driving like a saint, and instead is risking all of their lives. It would later be found that he was driving while drunk.
There's your wallet right there between your legs.
Sorry, I was a little bit nervous.
So was I. The way you're driving?
Huh?
I said, you mentioned that you were nervous? Right. I was nervous while I was behind you driving down I-40. You were in lane number 1. At times, you went all the way from lane number 1 all the way over. Then you were a signal, had problems keeping your vehicle one lane. And then when you merge on from westbound 40 to northbound 25, you took that curve way too fast.
I did. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to crash.
No, I don't.
I didn't say. I don't think so. I'm just saying I thought you were going to crash.
Yeah.
How old's your friend?
18.
That girl's not 18?
Huh?
That girl's not 18?
Yeah.
No, she's not.
No, I don't think she is.
That girl's not 18. Trust me. She don't look 18. Ma'am, how old are you? I didn't ask you your name. I asked you how old you were. Jeremy, turn the car off and come back here and talk to me.
All right.
Let me see the keys.
Unfortunately, the footage needs to be blurred for the girl's privacy, but at the same time, that proves exactly what the officer is saying. She's definitely not 18. In fact, every single child in that car is between the ages of 13 and 14.
I'll button my zipper.
Yeah, please button your zipper.
Yeah. I mean, I had to take like a piss and
Good?
Just by the way that Jeremy is acting and the sluggishness of his character, you can tell that he's been drinking.
When did you last drink?
like probably it's been a little while.
Like an hour?
I would say it's more than yeah.
Like maybe 2?
Yeah.
Roughly? Okay.
Like 2 hours.
That's fair. Because you know what? 2 hours is totally different than no, I haven't been drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that's okay. That's okay. We're not gonna argue about it. I mean, I know what I smell. I know what I hear. I know what I see. Okay. Simple as that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, you already did. You said I hadn't been drinking. And then I kind of played you, said, was it an hour ago? Like, no, longer. 2 hours? Yeah.
It's been a few hours.
Okay.
I mean...
Gotcha. Well,
I mean...
We're not going to argue about that. I mean, I know what I smell. Okay? Do you think you're safe to drive? Do you think you're safe to drive?
Yeah.
You do?
Absolutely.
Once again, you and I will disagree on that, too. I don't think you're safe to drive. Just based on how you're driving.
Generally, if you have a single drink, you will be okay to drive after 2 hours. This man is absolutely way past the point of being drunk and should be nowhere near a vehicle.
All those people in the car, who are they?
They're just my friends. I mean...
Do you normally hang out with people who are young? How old are you?
I'm 41.
41? Okay. Hang tight right there, okay? How old are you? And don't lie to me. I mean, okay, like, I'm not gonna play the game where you lie. I know that you're not 18. Okay? So if you want to have attitude, you in the front, okay? We go back another way. Simple as that. So if I sense any attitude or you give me lip, we'll do it another way. Okay, how old are you? 14. Thank you. Simple question.
14.
Really 14?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
19.
Okay. 13. Okay. 14. Okay. Who's this guy to anybody?
That's our homies. And then she knows his kid.
Okay. So that there's your homie. Or okay. So you guys all need to call your parents.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. And have your parents meet us here.
These kids are, very obviously, in a very dangerous situation, and Guthrie is a terrible man. He was accused of sexually abusing a 12-year-old girl that was in the car, and she had a miscarriage during a year of sexual abuse that she suffered at his hands. The girl's twin was also in the car, and although there is no direct evidence, he is suspected of raping her as well. He talked very often about how much he loved the sisters, which is just a disgusting thing to say. The sister's grandmother expressed how angry and disgusted she was at him for doing this to her granddaughters.
Just so you guys know, okay, I probably saved 6 lives tonight, at least 6 lives. Okay, I thought you guys were going to crash around that bend. He's going way too fast.
Oh, yeah.
And he's definitely not safe to drive.
Oh, yeah, we told him. We told him.
This is Sergeant LaFay with State Police. And your son, along with, I'm guessing 5 of his other buddies, they were in a vehicle with somebody some man. It's a grown adult who has no business driving, and so he's out now doing field sobriety tests, and these kids need to be picked up.
So just to make sure that you're okay to drive, okay, would you mind doing a couple of field sobriety tests just to make sure?
Yeah.
Yeah? You would mind, or you would want to do them?
What's it?
Do you mind, or would you want to do them? Do you want to do them? Yes or no?
I don't really want to.
You don't want to do them?
No, I don't want to.
Okay, I'm just gonna let you know, if you don't do the test, I'm gonna have to place you under arrest. Do you want to do the test?
All right, well, let's do the test.
You don't know what's after H?
I don't like that one.
It's a bit difficult to hear, but the officer asked Guthrie to continue the alphabet from H to S, which he was entirely unable to do.
Yeah. Alright, go and stand up, bro. Go and stand up. Go and turn around for me. Go and turn around. Go and turn around. Alright, so you're going to be placed under arrest for DWI, okay?
Jeremy Guthrie was thankfully placed under arrest for DUI and is currently behind bars in Albuquerque's Metropolitan Detention Center. After the DUI, his heinous acts towards the children were eventually figured out, and he is now facing 16 charges, including 9 counts of criminal sexual abuse of a minor. His trial is set to occur any day now, but make sure to subscribe so that we can keep you updated on what happens with this case. Fortunately, this next case shows real punishment for the crime.
Come over here, please. I'm gonna get that knife off you, sir, okay? Any other weapons on you? No. Okay. Come over here, please. Nothing else on you? Phones? Stop reaching your pockets. What's your name, sir?
That? What's that?
What's your name, sir?
Samuel.
Samuel?
No, what are you saying about pockets?
Do you have any other weapons on you?
Phone.
Please don't reach in your pockets. Just let me. We're out here because there is supposed to be people back there.
This is Samuel Bateman, and he was just pulled over by the police towing a trailer. The reason he was pulled over is that the police received a call from a very concerned citizen on the road, claiming that they thought they saw human fingers reaching out of the trailer. Any reports relating to possible kidnappings or abductions are taken very seriously, so the officers were dispatched at once.
How many other people are in the truck?
Any information I give can and will be held against you.
Well, I just want to know who's inside the truck right now, so that way I know who else we're dealing with here. or else I'm going to call everybody out.
As you can see, it's a pretty serious deal here, sir. What is your name?
Samuel.
Samuel what?
Do I have to tell you my name?
I'm asking for your name.
Yeah, I don't have to tell you, right?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
what is your name?
Samuel.
Samuel what?
Is he the driver?
Yeah,
Okay, you have to identify yourself. You understand that, right?
I don't know. I'm just wondering. Yeah, Samuel Bateman.
Samuel Bateman. I don't understand. What are you doing? We're trying to make
Samuel,
sure people...
I just got here. Explain to me what's going on.
Calm down.
I'm fine.
You're being videoed. Just in case you.
Yeah, that's
You're
fine.
being videoed as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff.
Despite very little having happened so far, Samuel Bateman is already very defensive when it comes to the questions the police are asking him. It is one thing to be cautious when talking to the police, because you very much should be cautious. But it's another to be overly defensive when you've already been informed that there are reports of people being in your trailer.
Samuel Bateman, what's your date of birth? Let's run.
What is your date of birth, sir?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Put
Turn
your
off
hands
on.
behind your back. Put your hands behind your
Put
back.
your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Let's not do this right now, huh?
You are being detained until you identify yourself.
Do I have to tell my name?
Yes, you have to identify yourself. You are being detained for a crime.
Okay, Samuel Bateman.
We're still putting you in handcuffs, so just sit tight.
The police are correct here. Because he's being detained on suspicion of a crime, he does have to identify himself. Keep in mind that is only to law enforcement officers and sheriff's deputies, but does not apply to immigration or FBI agents.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Can I ask you why this is such a big deal? Everyone's buckled in, and in Arizona, then you can be in the back of the vehicle without the license, you can be in the back of the truck. Sir, you're being welcome to further okay?
We're just going to identify you, figure out what's going on, and we'll go from there. The reason I'm detaining you is because you failed to identify yourself when I asked. Okay?
I did. I said Samuel Bateman.
Yeah, what about date of birth?
Why didn't you ask me my social security number?
That would have worked too.
Sir, can you bend back so I can lock this in?
That's kind of hurting me.
Well, I need you to cooperate here. Samuel, what's your date of birth?
I already told you.
What is it?
The footage has been blurred for the privacy of the victims, but several girls were just removed from Bateman's truck. The trailer has still yet to be opened.
That's hurting, dude.
What?
That's hurting.
Well, you weren't helping me out.
So you actually have the right to hurt people?
I'm not hurting you, sir. Can you help me out here a little bit? Can you move your wrist so I can help you out here? Thank you. Can you rotate this way and I'll adjust those for you?
So, can you explain to me what law I'm breaking?
Failure to identify when I asked you. But now you have, so we're good. I've identified you.
Okay.
But once I already say you're detained and I go to put you in handcuffs and you resist like that, that makes me a little nervous. So that's why you're in handcuffs. As soon as we check everything out and you came back, you identified yourself to me, I'll take you out of handcuffs and we'll be all good, okay? I don't know what DPS has going on with you. We just simply got called as backup units for whatever you have going on with them, okay? So once I get a chance, I'll go talk to that sergeant and we'll confer about what's going on here and what we have going on, and I will be more than happy to keep you informed and enlightened about everything that we're doing. Like I said, when I tried to identify you and you didn't want to identify yourself, I went to detain you. When I went to detain you, you stiffened up on us. Okay, so once we got you in handcuffs and everything settled down, that's where we're at right now. But I can't take you out of handcuffs, so I go over there and talk to that sergeant and see what we have going on here and if we have charges or what's going on.
Well, 14-year-old, she had a ring on her finger, on her ring finger. She had a ring on her finger. They've all kind of like hidden those. I mean, We know what's going on.
Many people refuse to identify themselves when an officer asks, as we've seen on this channel, and then they do so as soon as they're cuffed and then expect to be released. This is not how it works. The person has already shown themselves to be uncooperative, and that is explicitly what the police are cuffing them for. Being cooperative only because you're under the duress of being detained does not and will never signal to officers that you've suddenly had a change of heart.
Sam, give me a second, okay? Let's go. I want to loosen this left one, okay, Sam?
What I'm looking at, after discussing that with that sergeant, so.
I'll just stay right now. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. Go ahead, see.
Here, if you want to come stand up really quick this way, put your right foot in first.
Just so you know, we're investigating child endangerment. You can back in there.
Yeah. Sam, can you get your other foot in there? Sam, can you sit in there, please?
It's not hurting real bad.
It's not the most comfortable thing, I understand. It's fiberglass and plastic.
I'm just saying it twists my arm. I'm kind of bulky, so it hurts like heck when it twists, man.
Okay.
And like right now, it's kind of hurting.
Okay, you want to try this here? Bring your foot out.
I'm just saying my arms are hurting more than anything.
Yeah. You want to swing your hind end in there? And then pop around, does that work?
Sam is not the smallest guy, but that does seem to be a very small amount of space in the back of the police car. Restricting the movement of those who have been arrested is a common tactic, but there are issues with going too small as seen here. Of course, it's also very likely that Bateman simply doesn't want to be in the back of a police car, but this is just taking his statements at face value.
Let me talk to some gentlemen, figure out what's going on, okay? There you go. Let's see if this closes here really quick. Can you go across?
It's hurting.
Okay.
I'm twisting it.
Okay. All right. Don't go on face first. Just hang on. What's that?
Yeah, loosen them or something. That's hurt my.
Okay. Hey, Holland. I'm gonna get you loosened up here, okay?
What do we got?
I'm gonna loosen up this cuss
Okay.
for him here, so you can try and work his way in here.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't wiggle with that.
Yeah, that's all right.
I got big kind of big muscles.
Yeah, you got bigger shoulders here. Okay, there you go. Okay, just bring that arm down here. Here, let me adjust this one here.
I can get in and walk me in. That's all right.
Yeah, here.
Just want to put doubles on them, or is it just too tight?
Just double it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, double them up.
Hey, give me 1 second, Sam, okay? Okay, can you bring this arm back here this way? There you go.
Should have a little bit more room for you here. That a little bit better? Awesome.
Awesome.
Let's get it double locked, and then if you could take a seat for us, I'd appreciate it. And we'll get the AC turned on for you.
All right, here, Sam, 1 second, sir. Give me 1 second. All right, go ahead now.
Sam, it'd be easier if you sat down and then twisted your butt in. And I guess that works. All right, watch your feet.
There was fingers at that intersection. There was fingers out the door. So there's people in the trailer.
It sounds like someone's in there. You want to step out of the car, ma'am? Ma'am, step out of the car. Are there people back here? There's no one else in the vehicle. There's no one in the bed of the truck. And there's no one in the trailer.
This woman is one of the people removed from the truck earlier, as we're now watching from a different officer's point of view. She initially refused to leave, and you may of course find that strange. To explain it, a bit of context should be given about Samuel Bateman. The officers, of course, didn't know this at this time, but Bateman claims that he's a prophet and is the leader of a polygamist cult. He was a member of the FLDS Church, which is a breakaway sect of the Mormon Church, until he broke away to start his own splinter group. A little bit later, we'll talk about some of the heinous things that came out after this traffic stop.
Do you guys have IDs? No?
Well, let's start heading back there.
Hey.
Come with me.
I'll come.
Okay. You start walking back there. They don't need to go in handcuffs. We just need to get them out of here.
This is the police! We're going to be opening the door. I want your hands empty and above your head. If you do not, you will suffer the consequences. Again, this is the police.
Okay.
Pull down the handle.
Where are the hands? Let's see the hands.
Let's get that other door open.
There was hands sticking out of the top of the trailer. There's hands sticking out of the top of the trailer earlier. Let's see them. Let's see your hands. They're in front.
Behind the curtain. Okay. Keep your hands up for me. Go and walk out towards me, okay? Try not to slip, all right? Just keep walking.
It's difficult to see from this angle, but the conditions of the trailer were quite awful. There was a porta potty, couch, blankets, some food, and a stroller. It was not very well kept and overall quite disgusting. The worst part of it all is that there were several kids taken from him that day, between the ages of 11 and 14, along with several girls that were barely 18.
Sisters? But not actual sisters. Is there any of you that are actual sisters?
There's the two in the brown.
The one in the brown and you are sisters? Okay.
And then there's those two, but not one in the
The two in the blue are sisters? Okay.
And I'm cousins.
Okay. Well, I figured you guys were all tightly knit. I just didn't know the actual dynamics of the family unit here. Has someone explained you guys our concerns and why you guys... So someone called in and said they saw kids coming in and out of a trailer. That in by itself kind of dangerous, right? Driving down the road with kids in the trailer, and then somebody else, one of the aides, saw fingers poking out of the trailer. So now I get that, but the concern for the danger of people in the car. Now you got to realize in the whole country we have, you know, smuggling of kids, smuggling of immigrants, smuggling of all types of stuff, right? So extremely suspicious activity. So when we go to stop you guys, and then I don't know, what is he to you guys? Is he anybody's actual father?
Him?
Yeah, the one in the car.
Yeah.
He's somebody's father. So whoever his father is, he comes over, then it starts refusing to identify himself while we're trying to conduct a traffic stop. So things are starting to escalate until we know exactly what's going on. Now we have the dilemma of, you know, is there a probable cause for any type of arrest on him for any of the activities that was going on here? And then we have, I think you guys are over 18, just now? One of you? You are? Both of you? So we have 2 adults, and then we have several kids. So now we got to decide, are we just going to let him out of the car? You guys all jump in and go on your merry way? Or are we having to call parents to try to figure out how we're going to get him somewhere? So that's what's taking so long, is trying to figure out these circumstances. So you have DPS, who's the main investigator here, and then you had county because that's who got the call originally, and then you have PD because you guys are here in the city. So that's why we all showed up, and it sounded a lot more serious to begin with. Then once we de-escalate everything, we start talking to people, we start getting information, we start figuring stuff out. And that's where we're at right now. So
this officer is doing a very good job of explaining to these girls what is going on and why everything is happening. Too often in kidnapping cases, the police deal with the person who committed the wrongdoing, but leave the victims to figure out by themselves what is going on. It's especially bad in cases like this involving cults, where there may be brainwashing involved.
Yeah, I know. That's what I figured. Well, we'll see if Chacon even wants us to go down that path, because it sounds like we may just let everyone go.
Samuel Bateman was arrested for this, but that was only the beginning. Over the next year, he would post bond, be arrested again for destroying evidence, and then a lot of information would come out about him. Earlier in 2023, an updated indictment was eventually released, which showed that he would be charged with a whopping 51 felonies. This does include sexual abuse of underage girls that he claimed were his wives. 10 of his followers, some of whom were his adult wives, were also charged with aiding him in the sex crimes. When Bateman was arrested for the destruction of records near the end of 2022, 9 underage girls were removed from his compounds and placed in state custody. Later on in November, 8 of the 9 girls were reported missing from the homes they'd been placed in by Arizona DCS. A few days later, they were found outside an Airbnb in Spokane, Washington, in a vehicle driven by Moretta Rose Johnson, whom Bateman had claimed as a wife when she was under 18. She was taken into custody and is accused of kidnapping in a federal complaint. Bateman is currently being held without bail in a private prison in Arizona. His attorneys withdrew as his legal counsel 4 days after the updated indictment was filed. The court case is still ongoing, but thankfully, it's looking like Bateman will be going away for a very long time. Unfortunately, the same can't be said about this next case.
You have to keep him aside the word. We don't care. I don't care. My parents are here. I can't come. I just don't hope this camera. He used to live here, so he can tap into anything. But we have cameras up for other reasons.
Right, I got you. You know he's in there for a fact?
I know for a fact.
You can kick your door. You can kick it in.
I swear to God. Go ahead. Please. I don't know what's wrong with this girl.
Oh, there's a girl in there with him?
Yes. I told them this. There's a girl in there. She's very slim. My husband said he didn't really get a good look at her, but he's yelling at her. She can't see out of her eyes.
Okay.
This woman is currently being spoken to by the police because she's worried about a girl that she saw coming onto the property with a man. She explains that it looks like she's been severely beaten due to the damage around her face and eyes, and gives the police full permission to kick down any doors. Something serious is going on.
So this is why I'm nervous. This is why I've been calling his all morning, and I don't even know if that's even
you know 100%. You know 100%.
I know 100%.
Like an public school should have a scoop full of time. I want to go grab it.
All right.
You got the flat. Yeah.
Joe said he might have something. He's got something with a flat head that he might be able to pound it up.
I don't, but there's not. It's like flat on the bottom.
Yeah, it's like a normal one.
No, like they put something else in there. Yeah, it's weird. It might be unless this top one, the whole thing comes up. Maybe they just sheared the flat part off of it so it doesn't.
It honestly looks like it's welded. Not like it came out.
So we're gonna need a pry bar here.
Kicking down doors is generally a last resort for police officers, as they try not to cause damage where it's unnecessary. As such, they're trying to figure out the best way to get into this disconnected garage, where the woman from before claims that these 2 people are hidden. Apparently, they'd been in there for several days at this point.
Joe's got a pry bar.
There's a split bar in there.
That'd work.
She gave us permission to damage it.
Yeah, on BWC.
Yeah.
I say we're going through the roof, through the top.
You have shingles?
He hid somewhere?
All kinds of Easter eggs.
Right?
Doesn't look like it actually has it. I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like a full head on both sides.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's just a pen.
This one's a pen. Just painted. Yeah, but on the bottom, see if it should be, you know, it might be two smaller pens. Yeah, but how will hold it in
The officers are calm at the moment while they're trying to figure out the best course of action, and they've been criticized for this. They know that there could be a woman in danger inside the garage and are taking quite a while rather than just kicking down the door. At the same time, they don't know if the person inside the garage is armed, and they don't want to make too much of a scene if they don't have to.
Nothing in your hands! Now! Now! Get bit, buddy!
Coming out or not?
Can you see him?
Get out here now!
Come out now! Come out now!
Bro, you're gonna get up in a second. You better come right the fuck out now. Now!
He's up in the attic.
Come out.
Keep going. No, I don't see him.
Keep everything out of your hands.
He's in the attic. He's in the attic. He's
Keep
coming.
everything out of your hands.
You keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
We'll go hands down. Put it down.
Drop it. Drop. No, not your whole body. Get up. Turn around and walk backwards. Walk towards us. Walk towards us. Keep your hands up.
The situation became tense very quickly, and the police dog is quite a good deterrent in this situation. A lot of people are terrified of those dogs, much more so than they are scared of police officers, and it's likely that the barking was a contributing factor in the man giving himself up.
We'll cuff.
Can I get shoes?
Hey, face that way.
Just keep coming. Watch your step. Right there. You get that? There's a female.
There's a female in there.
Come on out here.
Your hand like you're pregnant.
Boy, come out. Please.
Can I get shoes?
Get you some shoes.
Come out.
Anybody else in here? Come out. Let this dog in after you two. Come out.
You're not going to get your black socks in the couch anyways. So you're going to get your shoes. Your socks are fucked in the couch anyway. What's that girl?
He's excited. Good boy.
Can't hear you.
Good boy.
Okay, what do you need to get down?
Is there a chicken? Yeah.
Let me get this ladder, okay?
Hey, 1 second, dude. Hold up. Let me move these frames. God damn.
Gotta get a little closer.
Is there anybody else that can do this? No?
Alright, can you reach that? Reach that ladder.
Can you see where this is?
There's no one else up there?
Where do you live at, dear? Thompson? How far away is that?
Like 30 minutes, like close to Chardon.
Why don't you have a seat right there? Why don't you have a seat right there on that stool?
We can see here how horribly this poor woman has been beaten, and the details about it would come out later. William Mozingo, a serial kidnapper who had already done this 3 times before, had abducted her, beaten her with a baseball bat, poured gasoline on her, and threatened to light her on fire. Apparently, the two of them had been acquaintances, as she'd been abducted after Mozingo offered her a ride home. Jones's mother made a statement to the police saying she was forced to urinate on herself as she wasn't afforded bathroom breaks. My daughter was choked multiple times, all while being told if she passed out, he would cut her throat. He wanted her awake and fully able to comprehend everything he was doing to her. It sounds like one of the most awful things anyone could go through.
Yeah. So you probably want to go smell it. Yeah, probably. Where's she at? Okay, also?
Yeah. Why don't you just sit down there?
You guys have water.
We'll get you some stuff here.
Car number 12.
I'll go grab you a bottle of water.
Yes, hold on. Turn the park number.
Hey, Chloe.
Is there any weapons up there, dear?
Is there any weapons or anything up there? No.
There's no apartment number, just says on the 3rd floor, male and female throwing things out of the apartment.
Obviously, because some facial injuries. Are you? What's that? Oh, you want? Yeah, that's what probably want to take. What is your name, man?
Just a piece of paper. It's a court paper. But still, I mean, we all know what goes up in front of a piece of papers. All right. Step on up there.
Yes, sir.
Hold on.
William Mozingo was arrested and taken into custody, where he claimed that he'd been hoping to brainwash her into becoming his wife. This was exactly the same thing that he'd said in 2017 when he was previously arrested for the same crime. Unfortunately, because this case is so recent, not much information has come out yet. He's scheduled to go to court on January 4th, 2024 for a pre-trial. Kidnapping carries the possibility for a life sentence in Ohio. He'll likely be given that sentence, given the number of times he has reoffended. We can only hope that this man finally sees justice after ruining so many lives. If you thought this case was shocking, the next one may be even more so and share some worrying parallels.
Okay. You're okay.
I am.
Are you sure?
Definitely.
Okay.
I'm just scared.
In the early morning hours of January 14th, 2023, in the small town of Lodi, Wisconsin, Columbia County Dispatch received a 911 call from a woman who claimed she had been sleeping in the backseat of her car at a truck stop. A strange man broke into her car and began to drive off with her still in the car. The woman has elected to remain anonymous, but the man who kidnapped her is 51-year-old Kyle Wagner.
Thank you.
You sure?
Yes, I just scared because he was driving like crazy, and I couldn't talk with him. He didn't want to stop. I don't know. He's crazy or what happened with him.
The woman isn't lying here. Kyle Wagner began a high-speed chase with the police after the woman called in that she'd been kidnapped, which eventually ended in him crashing the car. Luckily, the woman wasn't injured. During the chase, the man reportedly told her that there was a conspiracy and that several people were currently coming after the both of them to kill them. This demonstrates some level of psychosis, though it isn't known at this time whether or not it was drug-induced.
Going through the intersection, heading towards Quick Trip, northbound.
The high-speed chase saw Wagner driving directly down the main street of Lodi. It's a very small town with a population of only around 3,000, so most of it is based around the one large highway that drives directly through it. The police do eventually put up a spike strip and pop the tires on the car, but Wagner continues to drive even as the tires are actively deflating. Wagner drives on the wrong side of the road for several minutes before the police can force him into the guardrail, where the car lifts quite far off the ground before coming to a stop. You can then see the police cars boxing in the SUV to prevent Wagner from taking off once again.
Keep your hands up! Don't you dare move up! Shut up!
I'll give you my hand.
Don't move! I swear to God!
The priority in all cases like this is to make sure that the victim is safe and get them out as soon as possible. There was actually a small amount of backlash towards the police for forcing the car off the road because it had the potential to harm the woman. The police had to make several very quick, very forcing decisions in a short amount of time, because with the way that Kyle Wagner was driving, it was very likely that he would end up hurting many more people shortly.
2 hands, guys, 2 hands. Go ahead. Guys, 2 hands. I'm not resisting. Put your hands behind your head. What? Put your hands behind your head. Yeah. We got it. We got it. I'm not taking no chances here. I'm not taking no chances here. It hasn't been searched.
I'm not doing anything.
Oh.
The police are eventually able to get Wagner into handcuffs, during which we hear the woman saying that she has no idea who he is or why she's done this to her. It's very likely that she wasn't targeted directly. With his mental state being what it was at the time, he probably just went for the easiest, quickest car, and unfortunately, that happened to be hers.
I was scared. I don't know who's this guy. Who's this guy?
Okay. You're okay.
I am.
Are you sure?
Definitely.
Okay.
I'm just scared.
Court documents reveal that Wagner was on fentanyl and methamphetamine within 24 hours of the incident and was held on a $40,000 cash bond. He faces several charges, including false imprisonment and eluding an officer as a vehicle operator. The court case is still ongoing, and many people are angry at the actual charges, stating that they aren't severe enough. Unfortunately, the DA often has to decide to pursue lesser charges that they know they can get a conviction on, rather than going for a harsher punishment. It's unlikely that Wagner will see any serious jail time for this crime, but make sure to subscribe so that we can keep you updated on what happens with this case. Kidnapping is an awful, terrible crime. Sadly, it doesn't only happen in movies.